Mm.
All right, let's see if we get any horrible feedback. Jameson or Chris, say something just so we can see if you're working.
Hi.
Okay. All right, you guys are live on YouTube and recording. Yell at me if you need anything.
Okay, thanks.
Me to announce? At least I have a purpose, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna open this meeting, the CJCC, otherwise known as the Justice League. Members present, go around the room. Mike McCurdy.
Judge Danielle Welch from the Justice Court.
Kristen Huffine from the Grand County Attorney's Office.
And
Chris
on
Rogers.
Zoom,
Chris Rogers, Managing Public Defender.
Andy Faulkner, Utah Association of Counties.
Sheriff Wiggins, and I'm almost there.
almost there. Thank you.
All right, so I just wanted to let everyone know we're meeting for our quarterly meeting, and then I just wanted to let everyone know that we did submit our update to the strategic plan. We received a grant for a pretrial services, and that should be implemented in January. If Jameson wants to speak further to that, he can. Otherwise, we'll just we just purchased some equipment, and I believe that it will allow for that to sort of happen. I think that there is going to be another position, Jameson, created from that, right?
Yeah, let me just talk to you guys when I come inside.
Oh, okay.
Commission approved that, or is it's already on approval?
So it's just a matter of, so the grant was for, I think the position is, the people already are hired, it's just sort of moving them around.
Okay.
Is the way I understood it from Shan. And
Different roles and responsibilities, understand.
yeah, so there'll be, I think 2 people will sort of shift and share drug court and control services along with like bailiff.
Maybe
And then-
it still is a creation of a new position.
What's the term of the grant, Chrissy? Like how long?
1 year. But it's so, and then the equipment will be owned by the jail. And then we've added this into the fee schedule so that, you know, we can charge the people who are going to be using the pretrial services for the equipment rental. I believe that there's going to be some administration by highway patrol with it as well, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on how that works. That was Amy was working with Shan on that. Huge lift by them, and so I do think we need to give them like a big shout out for this as well.
For sure. Like that's just awesome. Is there going to be like a fee, sliding fee schedule for people who are indigent? Or do we know?
I believe it's similar to the way I understand it. It's similar to how the 24/7 program works. And I don't know that we have an actual policy in place yet. I think that that's something that we will be working on very soon.
And you asking about the 1-year term, the commission went into that knowing that we would probably be picking up the financing. Or just assuming that the financing would be picked up by the county. We hope it will continue by the grant, but everyone is on board with the continuation after the 1 year.
This
Yeah.
is really good news.
Right, well, and I think that also keep in mind that the grant was used to purchase equipment. So that, I mean, the grant
Right.
money has spent, it's not, you know, the program won't be contingent upon receiving more grant funding.
Yeah.
What do you want me to explain?
Uh,
The pretrial service?
Yeah.
So if it's I mean, I still don't know if it's for sure going to happen or not, but if the commission approves it, but if it does, then January 1st, we'll open up that new position, and our plan is we have to open it up internally and externally, and then go through the hiring process. And right now we have Kurt as our bailiff, but we're going to use his position and this new position, and they're gonna share responsibilities of drug court tracking, the new pretrial services. We're also gonna be doing mental health transport. It's not only just a good thing to have for pretrial service, but it's also helping the sheriff's office accomplish our other court duties of having more help in the courts, so that'll be good. And we have the funding for just the first year, and then with that, we have to buy ankle monitors and, full vehicle, so hopefully we can keep getting money from the state, but we'll see.
Can I ask a question about it? Do you anticipate with it, like check-ins, phone check-ins, regular check-ins, depending on like what
Their
the
level.
court's release orders are, GPS or contact orders, that kind of thing will all be part of it?
Yes, yeah. And then they're gonna share the responsibilities between the two, because we still, our whole thoughts were, well, if we don't have two people in this program, two deputies, it's hard for one person to just do it, because they're gonna need days off, who's going to do it, so if you have the two deputies that are sharing the responsibilities, at least when the one goes off to the other one's going to be ready to go, and so. But yeah, it depends on what level they are. Sometimes they might need to be checked on 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah, there's different levels of services.
But it'll be good, because then, it helps our jail population too, with the jails being full, and now we can start releasing some of those individuals and attract them outside. We can make room for if we wanted to house more state inmates, so.
So question from some outside of the, who sets the, okay,
Terms.
who sets the terms?
The judge.
Judge, so you'll be able to decide, this person is okay to
Yeah,
go
and so
through
this
pretrial
is-
services, this person
Yeah,
probably shouldn't.
yeah, so certainly, this is actually something that's been enacted in legislation for a number of years
Yeah.
now, and just something that the county hasn't, and was never, the counties were never provided funds except Salt Lake County to be able to do that. So I think Carbon is one of the few that have pretrial services available. So everything in the system's already set up and structured. In fact, when we get a probable cause for arrest, it oftentimes has recommendations based on an algorithm and potential issues and fleeing and whatever, that they suggest what level this person should be released at. Like, they have PRL 1 through 4, no bail, and are on their own recognizance. So those are already in place where a suggestion is already made, and then it's just up to the judge to make the determination. I mean, we make our own determinations and use that as a suggestion, but so those are already existing, and we've been seeing those for years now, but don't have the means to do it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and oftentimes you'll see, so another thing that we have to do is part of our pretrial release, if we set monetary bail, we have to indicate why we're setting that, and oftentimes it's because in this county, we do not have pretrial services, therefore monetary bail is the most reasonable thing for the safety of the public and yada, yada, yada.
No, I understand.
So,
And then with that, so I've had people ask me questions on this pretrial service deputy. We're gonna make it required to where they have to be PCO, which is correction certified, and LEO, so they have arresting powers. So. There was questions of whether this was just gonna be corrections only or law enforcement only, but we think since they deal with so much with the jail and out on the road, we were gonna make it required. That they have to have both certifications in order to even be in this position, so.
right, once you get it, somebody hired for that, then it'll be a matter of like coordinating, or you'll be able to have some model policies already in place to communicate with the courts what those issues or violations potentially may be.
Do you have any knowledge on how other courts are doing their pretrial, like? What things are working well, for feedback?
All I know is, well, Salt Lake County, which is hard for us to even model after, right?
Yeah.
And then I think that Carbon's, from what I understand, Carbon's has been pretty effective. But I haven't gotten into the details with them about what that may be, because up until recently, it hasn't been even possible, so.
The other question I have been asked a couple times is everybody going to be on this program? And I mean, obviously, we could probably talk more about this. It's the answer is no. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
some people just have to be in jail and some people.
People are probably fine without any kind of.
And will we be limited in number based on how much equipment we have, right?
Yeah,
So once
that was
this,
really-
yeah, once we have this many people,
We don't have any equipment.
Well, and I mean. Just as long as. Recommendations, I mean, as far as their release level or the. Ones to threes. So, I mean, those are like one contact a month.
Yeah.
Not a terrible big deal, and that's like a vote, it's one suggested, one vote contact. So.
And
I mean, we do have higher level too, but.
the other point is gonna be nice for the county. It's like, if somebody is incarcerated and they have medical conditions now, we can release that. Take on the responsibility of the medical side and provide them that, because that's a huge burden. Have to take them to their doctor appointments or surgeries, or if they're cancer, that would be nice if we could put some of those programs. Check out.
Understand. Well, thanks for the explanation, guys. I didn't want to come in, I mean, I don't, not entirely a layman on the subject, but just wanted to get how it was gonna play out. I mean,
No, I think it'd be great program.
yeah.
This is big and I really appreciate it. It's just like awesome. It's going to help a lot of people in a lot of ways.
Not only is it helping people, it's also helping my department too. Like, really, it's gonna be beneficial to us. So it's great.
you don't feel that it's gonna be, I mean, with the creation of the new position and the sharing of the load between two, not an overburden, for them. Okay,
It's just you gotta manage it. That's why I'm saying like. They're only gonna be able to track so many people.
but that's what the amount of gear.
Cause if you put too many people on the list, then it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But, you're slacking on your duties. So if we could manage it and not take it, not put everybody on the system, I think if we manage it right, it'll be great.
Okay.
They're also, I mean, depending on how it works out in the first year. Staffing wise, and everything else.
Yeah.
With our domestic violence compliance docket, the piece that we're missing is a probation officer to coordinate. So I think, and I know that there is grant funds available to help with that too. So
That'd be great.
there's a possibility where, if it works out, that I think that there could actually be room for another position to be added with, I don't think it could be grant funded to help in that, because that is something that is starting to become an issue in some of the cases that we're having, where we just don't have the coordination between the different entities, which is essentially the same thing that this will be doing. So I think that that would be a good fit to consider.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of funding available for counties. There's like
Sweet.
almost $1 million.
And is that through the state?
I don't remember.
If you can.
I just look right over Christie. Well, look into that. Sorry.
That's great.
Elected official. Good luck.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is for the elf.
The other good thing I
The
would
discovery.
say is that, by having these two deputies to not only drug court tracking and then being in the courts a lot and now doing this pre-trial, I mean, they're gonna know and have an upper hand of the people, I mean, the same type of individuals are constantly maybe running into it. So I think it's good to combine the drug court tracker, who are sentenced, and then these pre-trial service, and then they'll know who they can and can't hang out with. And I think it's great.
Mhm. All right,
Any votes on
Nathaniel,
this?
any thoughts?
Oh, yeah.
do I have thoughts? I think that hopefully, people who need supervision less than jail can take advantage of that. I mean, and I'm not saying I'm not naive. I don't think that everybody should be on pretrial release, but some.
Yeah.
Some, and I just really appreciate having this additional resource for the community. I think it'll help.
Any word from attorney's office?
I think it's gonna be a very helpful tool. I think one of the things I was thinking about is likely whoever's gonna be in the position for the tracker and the pretrial services, they're likely to be subpoenaed frequently in cases.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's something to be mindful about, and then whatever record keeping they keep.
Yeah.
It'd be good to do kind of a review or check about how many people they can actively manage with the obligations of drug court and then pretrial services. And then see who we're gonna identify for having that increased need and what it looks like and how many checks and things like that. So I think that'll be, once we start working on it, we'll have, kind of have an idea about how many people can be on it and what level of contacts and check-ins with counsel, with pretrial. I think that's gonna be fine tuning. It's gonna be important.
The one thing I would bring up on a question, I mean, maybe the answer to this is what happens if they're not from here, but they can essentially qualify as a requirement that they have to live in the county, because I mean, we have a lot of our clients are in Spanish Valley and San Juan. I mean,
Right.
should we work on like
And MOU, yeah, likely you're gonna run into a problem if they're in San Juan County.
they committed a crime in Grand, but they live in San Juan?
Well, it's one of the
Yeah.
problems we have with, we usually want people to be in Grand County unless we have some agreement with San Juan. It's an easy conversation to have with the sheriff, to have them be, deputized in San Juan County, to be able to go out and have an MOU that agrees that they're gonna be doing pretrial services in the north of San Juan, south of.
84532 area code.
Yeah,
We've used that before.
Because you're not gonna have somebody be on this if they're living in Price.
Right.
There's no way.
Right, no. And
I mean, the only thing you could do is verify their check-ins. If you had somebody that said, hey, you have to call the tracker, if they were light enough to be a limited number of check-ins, but then we're okay with them being in price.
Right.
I think you could require them to call in and have some checks.
right, that's kind of what I'm seeing too, rather than like house checks, unless there's like a concern or relinquishing firearms or not have to victims, but I think for the most part, it's just a matter of like checking in.
I think if they're out of the area and it's a serious charge and Judge Torreson releases them on bail, you'll probably have to have them do private GP, like AMP monitoring, or some other additional terms. And yeah, maybe they could be on the roster of check-ins for them. A lot of times, if they're that heightened level and they're living outside the area, I'm gonna ask for something more. And we've had people that we put on AMP, and AMP is very receptive to following up pretty tightly on them. But I don't know if we want to waste resources on somebody that lives.
Yeah.
Someplace.
I think it'd be beneficial just to see what Carter is doing and they've been doing it enough. They have an idea of what does and doesn't work.
Some of the questions in the staff. Those are great points.
Right.
And you're not gonna see a lot of these questions till it happens. So, yeah, it happens, work through, I mean. Anyone else?
Not so. So,
It was that our one and done term or one question for the day?
we have to set up a meeting in March and
What does everyone's March calendar look like for, we're gonna keep following the first Thursday?
Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Thursday?
Estimated first Thursday, 11 o'clock
11,
or
2,
2 o'clock.
all right.
That's, I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn made by Steven, seconded by Jameson. All in favor?
Now you can-
Thank you guys for today and
Thank
we'll see you
you.
in March.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
You know, things that are doing checks very, but it's all.
Not that I'm aware of. Seems like there may be one, maybe Washington. With that, Amy Hernandez. About